It is week number 11 of the high school football season. Tonight, the Chardon Hilltoppers traveled out west on Wilson Mills Road down to Mayfield to take on the Wildcats in the Ohio High School Athletic Association Division II Region 3 quarterfinals. That's right, it is playoff time here on GTV. How you doing, everybody? Matt Jaworski alongside Jason Baxter. And Jason, this is a matchup that these two teams had right here in Week 7, where Chardon fell in a heartbreaker by a score of 28-21. Chardon in that game got a tremendous effort from QB Tommy Bettinati, and he's going to be the key in this game for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, absolutely. Kid is an absolute stud. 1,400 yards rushing, but kind of a twist to him, a little different than most Chardon, past Chardon quarterbacks, is his ability to throw. Hasn't been called on a ton this year, but when he has, he's been a kid that's been able to complete balls when necessary, and that could end up being some sort of X factor today, is his ability to get the ball in the air a little bit, because he's going to run.
Oh, absolutely, and that's going to be the key, is whose team can stop the run game here tonight, which defense will step up and shut down. For Chardon, it's a stable of backs. For the Wildcats, they've got a good running back and a quarterback who, if he wants to run, can be very lethal. Yeah,
Michael Caganelli is who you're referring to, probably going to be one of the top returning players in the area next season. And then, as you mentioned, Monastero, wildly veteran, who is just an absolute gamer, and he has, again, the ability really to, like you said, run when he wants or pass the ball. Great at both. It's going to be an interesting night offensively. We'll see how the defenses show up as well, too.
Well, with that, we'll pause, take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll be set, and it'll be game time here on GTV.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club proudly presents this special Hilltopper football playoff game, brought to you by the following: Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, the Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Conic Law, LLC, Foot and Ankle Specialists of Ohio, Junction Auto Sales, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, the Chardon Smile Center, Chardon Tavern and Grill, Lake Health, Middlefield Bank, OsteoStrong, Spencer Printing, Great Lakes Cheese, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by Consumer Tire, Alvord's Yard and Garden Equipment, CCM Chardon Rental, the Goddard School, Chesterland Tavern, Cabanas,
Chardon Welding,
Sveet and McGee Attorneys at Law, Square Bistro, Less Engineering, and with special support from GTV. Please be sure to stop by and thank these great companies and individuals who have made this special program possible.
Welcome back to Mayfield High School, everybody. Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you here on GTV, as we are just about set for this game to get underway here at Wildcat Stadium. Jason, for the Hilltoppers, this is a game where I don't want to use the word revenge, but it's an important game.
Yeah,
it's a must-win game.
It's playoffs week 11. This is what you work for all summer. So,
well, now we're going to pause for the national anthem. It is go time here in Mayfield. It is week number 11, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. Two Western Reserve Conference teams, two teams that when it came down to the wire 4 weeks ago, a touchdown late in the game was the difference between a win and a loss for the Hilltoppers.
I mean, you're talking about two teams that in that game were just evenly matched until the final 2 minutes. 21-21, 2 minutes, and then, from the opening, as I said, that wily veteran, he's cagey. Mario Monasterio, 7 plays, 65 yards in less than 2 minutes. Ball game, 28-21, marquee win for the Wildcats. That has kind of propelled them over the last couple weeks, and here we are, week 11. This is what you grow up, dreaming about as a young Wildcat or a young Hilltopper.
Well, absolutely, and you go back to that game, and Longo, with 23 seconds left to go, Jack Longo had a 19-yard touchdown reception, breaking the hearts of the Hilltoppers. Tonight, however, the Hilltoppers have a chance to redeem themselves. And Jason, when you look at the keys of this game, it's run-stopping defense. We had a chance to talk with Coach Don Novotzik. He feels good based on what Chardon did the last time around, that they've got a good feel for this Mayfield Wildcat defense. The question is, will this Wildcat defense play a wild card, if you will, and throw a Wildcat to the Hilltoppers and show them something that they haven't seen?
It's hard to say. You're talking about two programs that what you get on film is what you're going to get on the field year in, year out. With the wing tee, with Mayfield, multiple formations, they like to throw the ball. They got usually a good solid running back like they do this year. And, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if a trick play comes into literally into play here tonight. As I mentioned earlier, with the ability for Beninati, when he does throw, it usually ends up being a big play for him this year. So it'll be interesting to see, who has the spin and, which way it goes.
Both teams are coming off Week 10 victories. For the Hilltoppers, as a matter of fact, it has been a rousing success since they were last here in Wildcat Stadium. Wins of 42-21 against Riverside, 52-28 against Brush, and then 52-42 against a surging Willoughby South Rebel team.
Yeah, you're talking about a Chardon offense that scored 40-plus points in 7 games this year. They put 60 on East Tech earlier in the season, so definitely a team that can be offensive, but you're also talking about across the field a really, really cagey Mayfield defense that's going to give a very talented Chardon offense fits. You're talking about 21 points last time out for the Hilltoppers against the Wildcats.
Well, when you look at the Wildcats, since that Week 7 game, they then suffered a 24-20 loss at the hands of Madison. Of course, Madison was the the conference champion. They're in the playoffs.
Win against Mayfield.
Yeah. You have North, who was a 49-20 victory over North, and then last week a 31-14 victory over Riverside. But in that game, it wasn't the full-blown Mayfield attack. They sent a lot of their kids out of that game early.
Right. Yeah, you're going to get that. That Week 10, you get that clinch playoff spot on Joe Eitel and. Coaches, they know with players. But even nowadays, coaches obviously you get the home atmosphere, so that 1 through 4 seed is always up in a big thing too. Obviously, they followed through on that 17-point win, got in, got out fairly healthy, and tonight's it. This is what you play for. This is what you work for all year.
Well, we certainly appreciate you tuning in here on GTV, and we also want to send out a special hello to all the folks listening on WINT 1330 AM. That's Integrity Radio. We have partnered up with them at several points at times throughout the season. We're doing that again tonight. So a shout out going out to all the radio folks listening as well. And they're also listening online too at WINTradio.com. So we certainly appreciate their listening in and enjoying what we expect to really be a good game here tonight. The only kind of snafu in this one, and snafu, if you will, is Sports Time Ohio is here. So it's not the same flow of the game that it normally is. It's going to be a longer, drawn-out game for the Hilltoppers. I don't know if that's a good thing. They really like to push the tempo, especially when it comes to offense, and just keep grinding away.
Yeah, that's going to be the name of the game. It was last time for the Hilltoppers. Control the tempo, control the clock, and see if you can get out of here.
Well, you hear it, folks. The Mayfield fans
They're slow to get in. They're here, though.
They're looking for parking spots. They got their seats reserved, though.
Right.
They're making some noise, making it loud.
Full house on the other side for our Hilltopper fans.
Boy, Chardon, you want to talk about a school that travels well. The crazies are out in full force. Looks like a blackout tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're talking high school football, this is what, this is what you get. You get two local communities coming together, enjoying the entertainment on the field. Week 11, Ohio playoff football. Doesn't get much better, Matt.
And we haven't even talked about the coaching matchup tonight. Mitch Hewitt versus Larry Pinto. One legendary coach, and just from the fact of what he's done, and Mitch getting to be that way if he keeps getting his teams in the playoffs. Officials now will go over to the tee. Look at the football.
They mark it on the 35. Ball's marked on the 40.
Darn.
And we thought we were going to be held up by other things tonight.
Yeah. Ziegenfuss is ready to just put that through the goalpost and hit their scoreboard.
Yeah, but you got to think the kids, even the referees, got jitters too. This is a big atmosphere for them. Week 11, getting that chance to be a playoff official, that's a big deal.
Indeed it is. So here we go. Ethan Ziegenfuss is set to tee it up. Ziegenfuss approaches the football. It's a high but short kick, going to be fielded near side at the 6. Coming up with it across the 25-30 and being brought down shy of the 35. Let's see, who was that? I believe that was Gage Bykamp.
One half of the Biken brothers who will call tons tonight with Luke and Gage. Luke's area leader in interceptions, 7 interceptions on the season for the Wildcats on the defensive side.
Well, we'll get you the Wildcat starters and the Hilltopper starters after this play. First down and 10, the ball on the 34-yard line for Mayfield. Ball handed off, coming near side around the 35 and out of bounds, shy of the 40. Michael Canginelli.
Canginelli's going to be the premier back for the Wildcats. He's had a great season, he's only a junior. And then, as we talked about, his mate in the back there, they'll go single back as Mario Monastero, but he's almost as much of a threat to run as most running backs in the area.
Well, you mentioned Monastero. Chardon going to jump off sides on that a bit. Let's meet the Wildcat offense. Of course, they're led by Mario Monastero, the senior, 6'1", 200 pounds. And he's a kid that has put up tremendous numbers across the board. He has a good group of guys up in front of him, though. Jack Steffens, the senior, 6'4", 300 pound. Dan Evans, senior, 5'9", 265. Timothy Carlisle, the senior, 6'10", 240. Nick Crouch, a senior, 5'9", 220. And Kyle Ross, a junior, 6'0", 175. That's their front 5. Monastero going to hand the ball off, but Chardon saying none of that. Ryder Davis in there to help make the tackle quickly.
Yeah, great play. And, you'll see split out for the Wildcats tonight. Luke Byken's going to be number 7 on your screen. 10, Jack Longo. 1, Bailey Roski. And 25, Gage Byken. As we mentioned earlier, one half of the Byken brothers.
3rd and 2 now for Mayfield. Ball on their own 42-yard line. They work their way right to left across your TV screen. Mayfield going to hand the ball off. Canginelli has some running across midfield, the 50, the 40, the 30, and brought down shy of the 20-yard line. Shane Quinn there to make a touchdown-saving tackle.
I'm really interested in the fact that Mayfield's gone run heavy here to begin the game. I believe ultimately all runs here, and what a great run. And you're gonna see a lot of him tonight, I think, Canginelli for Mayfield.
Mayfield, a huge play. It's now 1st and 10 on the Topper 21-yard line.
Mayfield trying to speed up things here too as they get right to the line.
Monastero drops the shotgun snap, going to roll out now to his right side, feeling pressure from Lucas Lundblad. He's spun down for a loss of about a yard.
Still, if I'm a coach, I'm probably telling Mario, despite him being a senior and being as quick as he had, jump on the ball, get on the ball, as there was a defender coming and he had to quickly grab it and go as there was a mishandled snap by Monastero there, so setting up second down here for the Wildcats.
Well, let's talk about this let's introduce you to the Hilltoppers defensive line. We're going to see Dustin Clute, the junior, 6'0", 210. Ryder Davis, the junior, 6'11", or 6'1", 240. And Lucas Lundblad, the senior, 5'10", 193. Those are their top, or their front three. Again, ball will be ran. It's becoming a common theme. Canginelli will take it, go straight ahead, pick up a few yards on that play, going to bring it third down and long.
Yeah, I'm still really interested to see at what point they're going to throw. If they've seen something on previous film that's, alarming them to run the ball. But this is very interesting how run-heavy Mayfield's been on this drive.
3rd and 8 from the Topper 19-yard line. 9:46 to play, no score here. First quarter from the shotgun. Monastero dropping back to pass. Feeling some pressure, rolling out to his right side, looking, and just throws it away.
That's part of him being a senior and not seeing anything, and he definitely took that as long as he could, almost to the Hilltoppers sideline. Didn't see anyone, ultimately threw it out of bounds. That's a play you want a senior, third-year quarterback to make there.
Well, and the question is now, what are they going to do here on 4th and 8 from the 19? And it looks like it's not looking, they do. They've got the field goal unit out. So Ryan McCalligan, number 90, out to attempt what's going to be a 36-yard field goal. Kick is down, it's underway, it has the distance. It is through the uprights, and it is good. So with 9:31 to play here in the first quarter, Mayfield strikes first, and they take a 3-0 lead. We're going to pause, take a timeout, and when we come back after this 90-second break, we'll have more action here from Mayfield. You're listening to High School Football on GTV. Welcome back, everybody. Mayfield set to kick it off. The high kick, Ziegenfu's going to watch it bounce in front of the 10, picks it up to the 15, and Ziegenfu's just shy. Well, he gets to the 20, and that's where they will mark him. So Hilltoppers will come out on offense.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those that you're always unsure about if that's going to get pinned or not. So probably actually a wise move. Gets them up to the 20, going to be there regardless. That's where the Hilltoppers are going to start at the 20. 9:26 remaining here in the first quarter. Hilltoppers trying to match the 3 points the Wildcats scored on the field goal.
Well, and we're going to see more running. We saw Mayfield do it. Topper's going to come out and do it now too. From the gun, Tommy Bettinati. And Bettinati looks left. Now he's going to run right. Bettinati on his feet across the 25, 30. And Bettinati picks up a first down for the Hilltoppers.
It's unbelievable to watch. I saw him a couple weeks ago in the Brush game, and he is just slippery as all can be when he gets in a hole. But that's typical Chardon wing team, quarterback.
Now, part of it's due to the guys up front. You got Skylar Pekosik, a senior, 6'6", 220. Justin Stanko, the junior, 6'3", 275. Jamie Tierney, a senior, 6'0", 204. Mason Straczynski, the senior, 5'9", 210. And Dustin Clute, the junior, 6'0", 210. Ball will be handed off going left side, Joe Sivas, and Sivas across the 35 out near the 38-yard line picks up a nice chunk of yards before he's brought down. Going to bring up second down and about 4.
Yeah, Sivas going to play on both sides. He's a great athlete. He'll be a basketball player, no doubt, this year for the Hilltoppers. I saw him get 4 fouls in a minute and a half last year during a JV game here on GTV. So
yeah, it sounds about right. Bettinati again from the gun. 4 receivers set. Got the handoff to Sivas, nearly tackled Sivas in the process, comes up near the 40, maybe the 41.
That didn't look as smooth as usual, as you alluded to. They kind of collided as the handoff was given away.
It's going to be good. They're going to spot the ball at the 42, move the chains, first down Hilltopper, so 1st and 10 from the 42. Guys that you're going to be seeing running the ball tonight for Chardon will include Andrew Pikus, the junior, 6'0", 165. Joey Dinko, the junior, 5'11", 165. Christian Ross, the senior, 5'9", 177. Joe Sivas, the junior, 6'0", 190. And Tommy Bettinati, the junior, 5'10", 160. He's the QB. 8 minutes and counting here. First quarter, 3-0 Mayfield. Bettinati from the gun. Fakes the handoff, takes it 45. Makes a turn looking to go near midfield and is wrapped up and brought down just shy of midfield. And on that tackle, Luke Bykan.
Yeah, Luke Bykan's he comes up and makes that tackle from a safety position. That's going to be an interesting matchup tonight with Bykan in a safety position. Bettinati coming at him all night as Bykan's a real athletic, speedy kid.
We will bring you the Mayfield defense after this play. Boy, another 4 receivers set for the Hilltoppers. Nearly empty backfield. They give it to Dinko. Dinko trying to cut around left side. No go. Wrapped up and brought down on the other side of the 50. Not what the Toppers wanted to see.
Yeah, and the Mayfield defense, they have a great defensive line. Dan Evans, Zach Rodman, and Izzy Watson. Izzy Watson definitely one to watch out for. He's only a junior. Linebacking core, Jordan Jones, Carl Stacy, Jared Dostal, Noah Fredrickson, and Bailey Rotsky. And in the secondary, Gage Bykan, Luke Bykan, and Kobe Berry for the Wildcats.
Well, it's 3rd down and 2, ball marked at the 50. Toppers need 2 yards to pick up that first down. They trail 3-0. Ball will be handed off, and Dinko dropped for a big loss in the backfield. Wow. Carl Stacy.
That's a huge play. These are the type of plays you kind of write down, put in the back of your head, as some of our reporter friends here. That could be one of those kind of game-changing plays. It is early, but a 10-0 lead here for the Wildcats could be a deep hole for the Hilltoppers.
Well, that brings out Mason Ziegenfuss to punt, and he actually did not punt. He did not see the field on punting purposes last week in Week 10. Chardon didn't punt the football. Plain and simple. Low snap. He gets it off. So give Mason Ziegenfuss credit. Takes a good Chardon bounce. Going to continue to roll down the field. Hilltoppers will stay away from it. And it's going to come to a stop at the 14-yard line. Wow.
That looked ugly.
But it worked.
It ended up being great. So.
Well, the sophomore just got it to go off his foot at the right angle. Well, with that kick, we need to pause, and now we're going to take a 90-second timeout here. So you're listening to high school football. It is Week 11, Mayfield and Chardon. Wildcats up by 3 with 5:53 to play. Welcome back to Mayfield Wildcat Stadium. Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you. Appreciate you tuning us in. 3-0 Wildcats. They have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line. They're looking to, well, I thought they were going to look to put the ball in there. Monastero going to tuck it and duck it across the 20 out near the first down marker at the 25-yard line. Boy, Monastero looked like they were going to have him in the backfield, Jason, but he got away.
Yeah, he's the type of kid that gives defensive coordinators nightmares, because that was definitely a broken pass play there, that he extended into what ultimately became a first down, for the Wildcats, 10-yard gain, moving the sticks.
It'll be 1st down and 10 Mayfield from the 24. And we got to bring you the rest of the Chardon defense. We'll do it after this play. Monastero from the gun, quick throw near side. Ball's caught by Longo, dancing around the 23, gets up near the 25, then is pushed back. Check that was Gage Bykan.
Yeah, Bykan brothers along with Bailey Rotsky, number 1, at least made it to regionals. I can't confirm in my head if they made it to state with the young man Isabella last year, who's at UMass now. A couple relay teams, super fast kids.
Fastest football player I have ever seen.
Oh, my God, Andy Isabella, and he's returning kicks now for UMass as a true freshman.
2nd and 9 from their 26. Ball handed off tangentially, makes a move at the line across the 35, up near the 37-yard line where Shane Quinn's there to make the tackle. The rest of the Hilltoppers defense, the linebacking core, Tenu Lamagua, the senior, 5'9", 170. Joe Sivas, the junior, 6'0", 190. And Kyle McCaffrey, the junior, 5'10", 205. We'll also see Andrew Pikus, the junior, 6'0", 165, playing some linebacker. He gets moved around a lot. In the secondary, Christian Ross, the senior, 5'9", 177. Ethan Ziegenfuss, the junior, 6'0", 175. Shane Quinn, the junior, 5'11", 170. And Jesse Smith, the junior, 6'0", 165. Before that play starts, some flags come a-flying. Now going to be a false start on the offense.
thought that was kind of interesting. Did he say the number of the kid?
He did. He said number 75.
I don't think that was legal in high school football for them to do that, but that's interesting. Hopefully his assigner's not here tonight.
Well, what's actually even more interesting is there's no 75 on the offensive line.
Ah.
So if you're going to make that call.
So if you're going to say the number, at least get the number right.
First and 15 now, ball on the 32. Monastero from the gun, dropping back, looking to throw right side, has a man wide open. Ball caught at the 40, 45, and knocked out of bounds near the 50-yard line. That was Luke Biken.
Yeah, Hilltoppers got to tackle better. You know, Monastero broke out a couple hand tackles on the gain on the initial first down of this drive. And then again, Luke Biken, I mean, you gotta put 2 arms and a helmet into this kid because he is super fast. Saw it there, he almost broke it, luckily pushed out of bounds. First down for the Wildcats, quickly back to the line. They're gonna push tempo a little bit here on the Hilltoppers.
That's what they love to do. First and 10 from the 49. 4:07 to play here in the first quarter. They're up 3-0. Monastero from the gun, looking to throw down the middle of the field. Ball intercepted by the Hilltoppers. It's Ethan Ziegenfuss across the 35-40. Midfield 45, on his feet at the 40. Hang on, young man, he has the ball. And gives Chardon possession inside the 40, down near the 36.
Wow. I'm honestly shocked. That was a very odd pass there by Monastero. I mean, I could see it coming because Biken he had broken into his route. And that ball was way behind him and right to Ziegenfuss.
Well, Ethan Ziegenfuss, he was a troublemaker, if you will, for Mayfield the very first time these two teams got together in week 7. Caused some havoc defensively, and he got the big interception there. Remember, last time these two teams got together, Chardon forced 3 Mayfield turnovers, capitalizing on 14 points with those turnovers. Can they do the same thing tonight?
That was only Monastero's 5th interception on nearly 200 attempts this year, so he usually takes care of the ball.
Pikus gets the ball, looking to run left side, is wrapped up and tackled about a yard shy of the line of scrimmage.
That's already about the 2nd or 3rd tackle I've seen Izzy Watson in. He is going to be a kid to watch. Ultimately, will probably be a D1 kid for Mayfield. D1 as in playing D1 at the next level. He is an absolute freak out there.
Wish we had defensive stats for Mayfield.
Yeah, because Izzy Watson, 6'2", 155. He puts on a little weight. He's a bona fide, D1, defensive end. He's quick too.
Well, officials want to put some time back on the game clock.
And that whole front 7, mostly, or almost front 8 for the Wildcats, a lot of them are back from last year. Dostal was he's a mainstay for them. And then obviously Evans and Rodman are both mainstays. Evans goes both ways for the Wildcats. So, like I said earlier, this is a cagey group. Then you got the Biken brothers on the back half of it. So,
well, they want 3 minutes and 43 seconds. There we go, back on the game clock.
Coach Verdi giving the riot act here.
We somehow missed the penalty. It's going to be 2nd down and about 7 for the Hilltoppers. Bettinati on the carry left side, up near the 30-yard line. And boy, Tommy Bettinati, you just saw him lower his shoulder there and just continue to push forward. A little bit shy of the first down, though, for the Hilltoppers.
A lot of impressive juniors in this game. There's another one in Bettinati. I mean, he is good. He hits a hole and gets a little bit of room. He's got some good finishing speed. So, again, more sure tackling is going to be needed on the Mayfield side of the ball.
That will bring up 2nd down and about 3 for Chardon. Ball spotted on the 30. Clock running, 3:03 to play. Here in the first quarter, Bettinati fakes everybody, has it left side, first down, and much, much more. Bettinati across the 20, down near the 17-yard line. First down, Hilltoppers.
There's the success of that Chardon offense, that ability to hold that ball as long as you can and pull it when necessary. Gets around some good blocks on the left side, as you said, a very talented left side of that line, with especially Skyler, left tackle, 6'6", 220.
And he's 6'6", 220, but the kid's going to probably play tight end in college somewhere. Here he's a left tackle.
Yeah.
1st and 10 Toppers on the 17. They trail by 3. Ross gets the handoff. Ross going left side up near the 15-yard line. Gain of just about 2 or 3. And it was interesting, Jason, I had the chance to talk with Christian Ross after the game last week against Willoughby South. And Christian had a slow start to the season, was really held up by injury. But over the last couple weeks, he's finally gotten healthy to a point where we've seen the old Christian Ross back. He just has that burst of speed from the get-go, and it's made such a difference in the amount of, he's basically doubled his touchdowns this season in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's awesome for a kid to be able to come back and recover from injury.
Bettinati left side, close to the end zone. Is he in? No, just shy. He took the handoff, went around the left end, and Bettinati, boy, inches his team close to that end zone. Going to be actually spotted at the 2.
That's an odd spot because originally the back judge came in, almost spotted it at like the half-yard line, and like you said, they're at the 2 now. So I guess they weren't on the same page, or we just don't know the mechanics ultimately of what they were trying to get at.
It's 1st and goal from the 2 for the Hilltoppers. They're looking to punch it in with 1:36 to play, trailing by 3. Pikus in motion, handoff, Ross left side, no. Stuffed at the line. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it, no more.
There's that front 7 and 8. This is where that's really going to show through for the Wildcats and how impressive they truly are. It's down here in this goal line situation. I would not be surprised if this play or the next, we see Bettinati pull one and try to get that touchdown on his own.
Well, Jared Dostal was the man who made that tackle. Clock runs, about a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Toppers trailing 3-0 to the Mayfield Wildcats. It is 2nd and goal from the 2. Bettinati from the gun. He has it looking to go around the left end, and no! Give Mayfield credit, they strung him out and in on the tackle, Bailey Rotsky. Boy, there's a kid who knows something about football, thanks to his dad.
Yeah, Bailey Rotsky's father, head coach Jeff Rotsky, led the Euclid Panthers back into playoff situation this year, hosting a playoff game tomorrow, actually. So he comes from a good football background, no doubt.
Well, here we have it, 3rd and goal now from the 6, loss of 4 on that play. And this will most likely be the last play of this first quarter. Chardon, about 14 seconds left in this first quarter. Bettinati empties out the backfield. Low snap, he picks it up, and Bettinati dropped in the backfield for a huge loss, and Chardon self-destructing on the and goals. And as time expires, we'll have to wait until we come back to see how this will all play out. End of the first quarter, so we'll take a timeout here from Mayfield. It is Mayfield 3 and Chardon nothing. You're listening to High School Football on GTV and also Integrity Radio, 1330 AM and online at WINTradio.com.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club proudly presents this special Hilltopper football playoff game, brought to you by the following: Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, the Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Connick Law, LLC, Foot and Ankle Specialists of Ohio, Junction Auto Sales, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, the Chardon Smile Center, Chardon Tavern and Grill, Lake Health, Middlefield Bank, OsteoStrong, Spencer Printing, Great Lakes Cheese, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by Consumer Tire, Alvord's Yard and Garden Equipment, CCM Chardon Rental, the Goddard School, Chesterland Tavern, Cabanas,
Chardon Welding,
Sveet and McGee Attorneys at Law, Square Bistro, Less Engineering, and with special support from GTV. Please be sure to stop by and thank these great companies and individuals who have made this special program possible.
Welcome back, everybody. Wildcat Stadium, Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you. It is now the second quarter, and to start things off, Ethan Ziegenfuss out to attempt what looks to be a, well, forget that, there are flags flying. It was going to be a 30-yard field goal, actually a 29-yard field goal. Going to be a false start against the Hilltoppers. Back them up 5.
Furthering that self-destruction you talked about down at the goal line situation and on the offensive, possession they had. So you got to really hope the Hilltoppers correct some things. A field goal here would go a long way.
So Ziegenfuss now going to be backed up to the 24, so a 34-yard field goal attempt. Ziegenfuss has his foot into it. Kick is underway. It is up, and it is good. So Ziegenfuss, a 34-yard field goal with 11:56 here to play in the second quarter, knots this game up at 3.
Coach Pinto, even with the field goal, is elated about that defensive stand. As you're talking about the Wildcats at the 2-yard line, knocking on the Hilltoppers' door, come away with only 3 points. That's a huge, huge stop for the Wildcats.
Well, it was 3 Mayfield turnovers. And when you look back at those turnovers, Jason, in the first go-around, Chardon got a touchdown to start the game. It was a fumbled punt return, I beg your pardon. Punt was Kyle McCaffrey picked up. Chardon ends up scoring a touchdown. Later on in the game, Andrew Pikus kept the touchdown off the board by picking up a fumbled handoff exchange between Gage Biken and Mario Monastero at the 3-yard line. Chardon went down the field, couldn't do anything with it, turned it over on downs. They actually had to go down the field twice because of penalties. It says a lot. They had like 1st and 33 or something like that at one point in time. The last turnover was Andrew Pikus, a 10-yard fumble recovery, 17 seconds into the third quarter. So coming out of halftime, picks up the ball, gets in the end zone, and scores. And there's your 14 points off turnovers. So Chardon just 3 tonight so far.
Scrappy. It's the word that comes to mind. 2 really scrappy teams.
Ziegenfuss, it's a high kick fielded by Biken around the 5, up across the 20, 25, 30. Manda beat that Ziegenfuss, and he is going to be wrapped up and brought down around the 35-yard line. Ziegenfuss just kept on going and was able to catch up with Gage Biken, but a huge return for the Wildcats. And boy, now they're in prime field position.
That's a huge, again, all the big plays keep adding up, for Mayfield more or less. It just the Hilltoppers need to get something positive out of this. A defensive stand would be huge, but again, they're showing Biken there. That was the other Biken with the big play. And the Hilltoppers were lucky to have an athletic kicker who was able to run him down because otherwise he was gone.
1st and 10 Wildcats, ball on the Topper 38-yard line. Going to be a 3-receiver set for the Wildcats. Well, they're now moving some personnel around. It's still going to be a 3-receiver set, 1 on the far side and 2 on the near side. Pistol formation for Mayfield, and officials throw out the flag. I believe it's delay of game.
Again, these are the type of things that are going to start adding up with Monastero with the interception, and then now with the delay of game call. That's really unlike him.
Ball is started at the Chardon 43-yard line, 1st and 15 Wildcats.
So 1st and 15 now from the 43-yard line. And going to be a handoff. Gage Biken across the 40. And Gage Biken gets a good chunk of yards back up to around the 36.
It looks like the Wildcats are going to really, obviously the run was really big for them on this first drive. Be interesting to see if they stick with it.
Boy, Monastero, after that play over, was stretching out his hamstrings.
It's kind of interesting because obviously the weather, I wouldn't think would be affecting him too much, but it's week 11, all those injuries add up.
2nd and 9 looking for the screen. They hit. There's Biken spinning around, avoids one tackler, still on his feet up near the 30-yard line. And Gage Biken, boy, what a job he did to avoid some tackles.
I'm telling you, these Biken brothers are very athletic, and they're showing it. showed on the field. It looks like Dostal's going to come in. Kind of interesting to see Dostal coming in and splitting out here. He's the linebacker for the Wildcats.
Lundblad and Ziegenfuss there to make the tackle for the Hilltoppers. 3rd down and 2 now. Mayfield ball on the 30-yard line. This game knotted up at 3.
Too tight, it looks like, more or less, with Dostal to the right.
Now they're going to give the ball. Canginelli makes some cuts, gets across the 30. But he's short.
I guess if I'm Larry Pinto, I'm going for it.
Yeah, Urchek, they're in on the tackle, by the way, but for the Hilltoppers, you give up a big play on special teams, and they've had a perching for that this year. And now the defense set to potentially bail them out, but it's 4th down and 2. Ball on the 30 for Mayfield. Mayfield working their way left to right across your TV screen.
Dostal's going to stay in. Biken and Canginelli are going to go.
Monastero going to keep it himself. Monastero trying to get around the corner, and he is just leveled. He went up in the air, was pushed back. The question is, where will the spot be?
It's going to be close. A couple of the Wildcat players are signaling. That's almost a video game type play. You see where he get that hit stick and literally just drove him back midair.
That was one of the most violent hits I have seen this year covering the Hilltoppers. Wow.
Looks like they may measure, because it was close.
Now, from my angle here, and it's a bit of an angle, I think they got it. They do. By the length of the football.
That was a good spot there for the Wildcats. That was a very athletic play by Monastero, but a very athletic play. I didn't see who made the tackle there, but
there was way too many white jerseys.
That was athletes just hitting right there. And,
and you have to wonder now for Monastero, you take a big hit like that, are there a few cobwebs up there right now? 1st and 10 from the 28. He's dropping back to pass. Pump fake, feeling pressure. Avoids one tackle, throws the ball, finds a man open around the 25, down to the 20, inside the 15-yard line, and making the catch was Jared Dostal.
Kind of unsuspected, like I said, he came on. He's usually the defensive guy, more for the Wildcats. That's his 3rd catch on the season, so he's by no means a weapon, but that was a big play.
1st and 10 now for the Wildcats from the Chardon 14-yard line. Clock reads 9:32 here in the 2nd quarter. Is Mayfield 3 and Chardon 3. Monastero from the gun, gonna hand it off, and Canginelli just goes straight up the middle, and Canginelli gains about 5 on that run.
5 yards in a cloud of dust seems what Mayfield wants to do, but again, they do have the ability to open it up.
Cloud of rubber here?
True. Rubber pellet dust. So you do get it sometimes, it kicks up if he's treading enough.
A little bit.
So you didn't get the tread joke with the
I
rubber
got
pellets.
you. Oh.
I'm here all week.
Hilarities. 2nd and 7 from the 11.
Dostal.
3 receivers, and, well, no flag. It's going to be a timeout by Mayfield. And Jason, boy, we're seeing both teams just having issues getting the plays in.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, when you're talking about 2 usually pretty efficient teams that, that have their certain ways of doing things. Signals for Mayfield, quarterback on and off for Chardon, and it's felt sloppy, but it hasn't been sloppy. I guess this is kind of a weird way to put it, but 3-3, it's even right now. Wildcats knocking on the door, though.
Now, when you look at these 2 offenses, Chardon has put up 3,895, 3,895 total yards, and when you look at Mayfield, 3,812. So both offenses know how to gain yards.
It's almost 8,000 yards of offense there. That's a lot of offense.
Action set to resume. It is 2nd down and 7. Wildcats ball on the Hilltopper 11. They can get the 1st down. That's spotted about the 5.5. However, Chardon, the handoff to Biken, and he gained maybe a yard on that play.
There we go, setting up another big play, though. 3rd down here. Obviously, Mayfield shows they have a kicking game. But obviously, 7 points is the name of the game here. So Look for something interesting here. Again, Montestero possibly rolling out, doing something to extend the play here. My guess is a Biken may be in on the play as well.
Well, 3rd and 6. Ball on the 10. Biken has the ball right side looking to throw it. Now he's going to tuck it and go ahead. And Biken shy of the first down marker, bringing up a 4th down. Looked like they're looking for some trickeration right there.
Trickeration wasn't there on the second part of the trickeration as Biken took the ball on a sweep around. But I don't have any inside source, but I did say it was going to be a Biken on that play.
You did. I need to let our folks know, especially those on Integrity Radio, this game brought to you by Menor Lumber. Buy where builders buy.
Wow, another timeout by Mayfield. That's 2 within the last 2 minutes.
It's always fun. You talk about the playoffs. Week 11, everybody starts with a blank slate. It doesn't matter that Mayfield's 9-1 or Chardon's 8-2, because whoever wins plays next week.
Winner of this game is going to move on next week to play the winner of Madison and Warren Harding, and that is by no means an easy draw on either end. That's going to be a heck of a game over in Madison tonight.
Here we go. It's 4th and 5 from the 9. Wildcats, 3 receivers near side. Montestero flushing out of the pocket, looking to throw right side towards the end zone. Ball is going to be called for a touchdown. Was looking for an official to make the call. Eventually they did. It was a long, it just took them a while to get that. Gage Biken.
Shocking. Gage Biken on the touchdown
reception. Touchdown reception. A big score for the Wildcats with 7:37 to play. Excuse me, 7:33 to play.
That's more what the expectation is from Montestero, is that ability to make those plays, that short 9-yard passes. That's his game. Get him close and let him take you the rest of the way.
The PAT is good, and with that, we're going to pause and take a timeout. You're listening to High School Football here on GTV. Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium. Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you. 10-3 Mayfield. They are getting set for the kickoff. Andrew Curl sent to kick it off. High kick. And Ziegenfuss fields it near the 10. And he will not get to the 25.
Some very opportunistic special teams play here tonight by Mayfield as they get to the ball.
We'll bring it 1st and 10 for the Toppers from their own 23-yard line. And Jason, you look back on that last drive, and the Mayfield defense came out and made an important stop. They had Chardon 1st and goal from the 2, and did not let the Hilltoppers in.
Yep, forced a field goal, hence the 10-3 score, and really kind of have controlled Beninati here early on.
Beninati going to pass the ball, fake the handoff, got the ball out far side, and I don't even want to call it a bubble screen. I'm not quite sure what that play was. Ball was caught by Dinko, who gains 2 yards on the play. A lot of green jerseys around him. Izzy Watson credited with the tackle.
You're going to hear that name a lot tonight. He is number 81 on your radio dial.
So 2nd and 8 now from the 25-yard line. Toppers will come out. They'll send a split end out to the near side, but again, a familiar wing T formation for the Hilltoppers. And Dinko gets the handoff. Dinko is running him across the 35, 40. Dinko a move across the 45, on his feet near midfield before he's tripped up and brought down. And Joey Dinko with a big chunk of yards gained on that run.
That was a great cutback at about the 40-yard line for Dinko, as that allowed him to gain the extra 9 yards there. And really, again, setting up the Hilltoppers. A lot of give and take here by the offenses and defense on both sides.
Ball marked on the 49-yard line. Going to be first down and 10 Hilltoppers. 6:27 and counting. Chardon looking to answer back. They trail 10-3 to Mayfield. From the gun, Beninati going to fake the handoff, takes it straight up the gut, and Beninati bullies his way to about the 46-yard line. You know, you don't oftentimes, Jason, see quarterbacks wanting to take on hits, but Beninati, you know, he's not built like that. He's a smaller young man, 5'10", 160. So basically my height, my size, but you know, he's not afraid to dish it out. I like that.
That's just part of the Chardon mentality. It's kind of instilled in you through youth football, and you know, it's part of the job description when you're a Chardon wing T quarterback.
Fake to Dinko. Beninati has it, gaining a big chunk of yards across the 30, and Beninati inside the 20, down near the 17-yard line. Mayfield, they had their eyes on Dinko, and frankly, so did I. Yeah, great job on that misdirection.
2 huge plays here by Dinko, and again, with a nice cutback, gained an extra 10 yards, did Beninati. And that is the name of the game, is that holding that ball just long enough to get that fake going up through and drawing the defense.
First and 10 from the 19, 5:27 and counting. Traditional wing tee for the Toppers. Beninati will give it to Dinko. This time makes a couple cuts inside the 10. Dinko down to the 5-yard line, and Joey Dinko puts the Toppers inside the 5-yard line.
A lot of people, I think, assume that the wing tee is dead with as much as spread offenses and stuff go nowadays, but the Chardon, you know, it's just that offensive line gets a push, they find a hole, and these running backs, you know, especially the quarterback, I guess, with Beninati, gets up in, and they're just elusive.
Well, they know how to do it. It's first and goal from the 5, so second time tonight the Hilltoppers have had the ball in an and goal situation. Dinko around the right side toward the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers. Joey Dinko kind of bounced around a little bit, but looked like they wanted him to go around the end. He got around and found the end zone. Yeah,
great play, 5 yards. They go to the wide side, or short side, ultimately, of the field. Really trapped that Wildcat defense in. Got to the pylon, close you're going to get, but hey, 6 points to 6 points. Ziegenfuss on to attempt the extra point.
Now, Ethan Ziegenfuss, when he has had the chance, has been nearly perfect on PATs, and no doubt about that one. The only issues that they've had this year is when the snaps have been bad. And every once in a while, they've had a few of those. Keep it right here, though, and Jason, this is a great time to mention. We absolutely have to thank the Chardon Football Gridiron Club for this broadcast. They were the ones that are backing this broadcast here on GTV, and we could not do this without their support here, bringing you Hilltopper football. So again, a major thank yous going out to the Gridiron Club for helping us bring you football, playoff football here on GTV.
That's huge. And that, again, goes to that support staff and that backing of these programs that make these programs successful is things like that they're willing to do for the kids to get them some airtime. And what a great opportunity for us to be here as well. Playoff action doesn't get much better, as I mentioned, week 11 in Ohio, especially here in Northeast Ohio. Really a hotbed for football.
Well, and the nice thing is we're here. We're not wearing winter coats, save for one cameraman who we might mention later. He's got his Carhartts on. But
that's a mainstay for any Chardon football fan in the past 20 years.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say this. It was terrible weather all year at Chardon Memorial. Basically monsoons for 3 games. So they had 5 home games.
Right.
4 of the 5 came in the month of October.
Oof.
So it kind of tells you how they closed out.
Right.
I wore my Carhartts for 3 of the 4 home games to close things out. I wanted to stay warm.
Well, the Indian summer kicked in, and it's been beautiful. I don't think you can ask for much better weather because, you know, the later we get, the more the white stuff comes into play.
Ziegenfuss, a short kick fielded by an up man around the 15 across the 20. On his feet across the 30, but cannot break the plane of the 33.
There we go again for the Wildcats, an opportunity to, you know, no one's again taking the bull by the horns here and really jumped ahead. It seems like it's going to be that even game. You know, I think if we could get to to halftime, one possession. We're going to be up for another thrilling finish.
Well, when you look back at that Week 7 matchup, Chardon took a 7-0 lead. Then Mayfield scored to make it 7-6. They went into the third quarter. They traded touchdowns, and it was basically a 2-point game because of a couple missed points. Montecero going to hand the ball off. Canginelli around the right side, has some running room across the 40 down to the 41-yard line. Lamagua in on the tackle for the Hilltoppers.
One of the longer gains in the last few plays. First drive for the Wildcats, Canginelli was really getting some good pushes. That's one of the longest runs he's probably had in the last few possessions.
Well, it's interesting that he had, when you go back to that game, Jason, and if they give me a chance to give you this stat here, because they like to get to the line pretty quick, but Canginelli, 22 carries, 242 yards.
That wasn't even a season high, I don't believe.
No, but they're not feeding him the ball early on tonight.
Right.
Maybe things will change. Man going in motion. They're faking the handoff. They've got a man beat deep down the field. Ball up in the air. Some pushing. Ball is caught. Aim huge. First down. Jack Longo. He was matched up against Ethan Ziegenfuss. There was some contact, but Longo made the catch. A huge first down for the Wildcats.
First time we've seen Longo get the ball tonight, and he's been a go-to receiver for Montecero, so it'll be interesting. If I'm Larry Pinto, I might look Jack Longo's way again because he got some separation there. Huge catch. Great play there by the young man.
Wildcats to the line quickly. 2 receivers on each side, 1 back in the backfield. Canginelli, 1st and 10 from the 21. Montecero pump fakes, looking to throw right side. Has Biken open in the end zone. He bobbles it. Incomplete. There to knock it away at the last second was Ethan Ziegenfuss.
That was 7 without the knockaway.
Check that. That was, I beg your pardon, Shane Quinn.
Quinn and I believe Cybus was also down there on coverage, and that was definitely, as someone yelled in the press box, he was beat, and he was. Biken was behind both the defenders. That was 7, so just didn't come down with it. Ball
a little bit underthrown on that play. Biken bobbled it, and when he bobbled it, it went up in the air, and Quinn was there just to smack it away.
Yep. Huge play by the Hilltopper defense, so they needed that.
2nd down and 10 from the 21. Again, looking to pass. Feeling some pressures. Montecero being wrapped up, throws the ball up, and boy, that was a bad throw right there to nearly intercept. It was Lamagua.
I don't understand why he's forcing it there, because I think he had the opportunity. He probably could have thrown it out of bounds there. I don't think grounding would have been in the play there because he was out of the box, just guys around. So kind of, again, another play unlike we've seen from Montecero all year.
The issue, though, too, is when you talk with a lot of football coaches, if you're about to be thrown down, if you're being flung around, just tuck the ball, take the sack, live another day. 3rd and 10 from the 21. Montecero again feeling pressure, steps up in the pocket, avoids one man, and again throws it. This time, it is again incomplete. Lundblad was there, also in on that pressure for the Hilltoppers. Was a Jacob Urchek. Boy, don't get to call Jacob's name defensively that often, but they got him playing some defense tonight.
Lesser of the two evils there by Montecero, throwing it into the receiver's feet, but Coach Hewitt on the opposite sideline of us was absolutely livid. Not sure if that was grounding because, again, I feel like he was outside of the box. I believe that's the same rule.
He had a receiver there.
Right, it was literally at the guy's feet. But Coach Hewitt was not happy about something. Could have been something away from the ball, obviously. But
so Mayfield going to attempt the field goal. It is good. So the long field goal by the Wildcats gives them the lead 13-10. Wow. The Chardon defense needed to make a stop, Jason, after giving up a big play, and they were able to get that stop.
Few big stops there, and again, who would have thought, two teams coming in averaging or with over almost 8,000 total yards of offense, and it's become a kicking battle with now 3 field goals and 2 touchdowns. It's going to be an interesting game. It'll be interesting to see if special teams plays a part come the 4th quarter.
It was a 38-yard field goal, by the way. So a 3:25 left to play. Ryan McCallahan again gets his team on the board. And kicking is of the premium tonight. And, it's really, Mayfield, this is something that we haven't really talked about, but they've developed over the years a good pedigree of kickers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go back to Kerry Spear, who, for reasons unbeknownst to us, didn't make it on the Browns team this year. He should have. He was kicking very well in the preseason.
Coons has turned out to be not bad himself, almost perfect on the season. But
a little homer in me.
But Spear was definitely a great story all through training camp out of Vanderbilt via Mayfield.
Official's going to say Ziegenfuss was not in the end zone, takes the kick out across the 30, tripped up just past the 30.
Coach Pinto disagreeing with that because it did look like it was pretty close.
I get it. Chardon last week had that go against them where one of the South returnmen, you could clearly see his foot was back in the end zone. I mean, it was in red. And the official was looking at him and just let him go.
I feel like it's one of those calls sometimes that it's just there's a lot going on in your mind. You're waiting, you're looking to go where you're going as an official, and you just don't think, oh, wait, that's a touchback.
Well, 1st and 10 Toppers from their own 31. Beninati looking to throw, going to throw the ball. Pikus makes the catch and is dropped in the backfield for a huge, huge loss. Is that Carl Stacy?
I think that might have been Jordan Jones, number 30. Oh, no, you're right. I apologize. Carl Stacy. I missed a 0 on that. That was a great hit.
Carl Stacy dropped Pikus for where are they spotting that ball? On the 24-yard line. So that's a 7-yard loss. Going to bring 2nd and 17, ball on the 24-yard line. Hilltoppers working their way right to left across your TV screen. Ball will be, going to be kept by the QB. Beninati going up the middle, gains a couple yards on the play up to the 26. Going to bring up 3rd and long for the Hilltoppers. And, Jason, this now we have to start talking about this because Wildcats only have a timeout left.
Yeah, and that will play a big role. But I almost feel like if you're Coach Pinto, you may just be comfortable going to halftime and just getting out of here without a turnover, without something big happening, and just going with a lead.
I don't know, though. When you got receivers like Longo and the Bikin brothers and a quarterback like Montestero, if you can get a chance to throw a Hail Mary up, why not? But Hilltoppers have some say. 3rd and 15. Pikus coming around the left side. Pikus forced out of bounds, and he's tackled very late.
That was close. That was definitely close to being 15. I'm guessing the referees gave the benefit of the doubt, thinking that it was a continuation of the tackle. It was close, though. But even on that side, that's a free timeout there for the Wildcats with the clock stoppage now with 1:50 remaining.
Now, Topper's able to get the ball out to the 32-yard line. And Mason Ziegenfuss, he had an ugly-looking punt the last time he was out, but it worked wonders. Again, a low snap. Gets the kick off. It's a high but short kick. Going to bounce, going to take a high bounce. The Toppers can't find it. There they go. It's going to roll to a stop at the 39-yard line.
Great field position, though, for the Wildcats. Buck 39, lock can happen in 69 seconds.
Well, I want to look ahead now, but you think that maybe coming out at halftime, the long snapper and Ziegenfuss may come out a little bit early, work on that long snap, because 2 snaps and they've both been low and short.
Right, you want to get on the same page with that, and that's always that work you get in as the bands are finishing up and get the ability to get on the field early and get some of that down.
And again, when you don't have to punt in the week prior to, that does hurt a little bit. Absolutely. 1st and 10 Wildcats on their own 39-yard line. Handoff, Gage Bikin, and Bikin is dropped at the 40-yard line. Joe Sivas in on that tackle for the Toppers.
And at this level, special teams aren't always an emphasis in practice. You're talking a couple days a week, maybe getting a little bit of work in here and there, but obviously install in offense and defense is usually a bigger priority.
Quickly to the line, and 2nd and 9 from the 40 Wildcats. 2 receivers on each side. And they make it a 3rd as Canginelli comes out of the backfield. Ball high, caught, no! Canginelli had it go in and out of his hands. Gonna bring 3rd and 9.
Yeah, that was definitely 6 points. Pretty good. It was a big play, regardless. Might look for Mayfield to dial something similar up there because there was something missing on the Chardon defense.
Boy, Canginelli, he had his eyes on the football, just could not get his paws on it. So it's 3rd and 9 from the 40, Wildcats. Going to send 3 receivers out to the far side and 1 to the near side. Canginelli, the lone back in the backfield from the shotgun. Monastero again feeling pressure, rolling around in the pocket, and he is dropped for a loss back near the 35-yard line by the Hilltoppers. A lot of white jerseys back there.
Chardon really has. I was going to mention that when we were talking about the timing, but Chardon really has been getting some great pressure on Monastero and getting him out of his comfort zone. But even on top of that, really eliminating his ability to run.
Hilltoppers burned a timeout. And Jason, with a minute left to go.
That was interesting. I thought that was Mayfield that called that. Wow.
Well, you have to wonder, I mean, is this maybe a spot where you just try to block the football, and if you don't block it, then you just take a knee to close out the half?
I think regardless, though, you don't get them back. You don't get the timeouts back, so you might as well use them and have the ability to have some time on the clock. You know, I think that's what you're looking for, but I think that is definitely a point of emphasis in the huddle over there with Mitch Hewitt. I'm sure, obviously, Coach Novasik's usually heavily involved with the special teams, so I'm sure that's a point of emphasis. Looks like they're going to drop one. They're going to be drawn out here with someone split out for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Ziegenfuss will be the lone return man. Mayfield does have a gunner out near the far side of the field, near the near side of the field, beg your pardon. Bykamp, a line drive end-over-end kick. And Ziegenfuss picks it up at the 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Ziegenfuss spun around and tackled inside the 50 across midfield near the 48-yard line. So now it gets interesting. Hilltoppers, forget what I just said a minute ago.
Right.
They have the ball 1st and 10 with 2 timeouts left, and the ball's on the Wildcat 49-yard line.
That's why you call the timeout there, because you really do give yourself, a favor, and you have 50 seconds left. You know, I think we may see a test of Tommy Beninati's arm here. As they're definitely going to have to open it up a little bit, maybe with some trickeration.
Beninati on the year, 19 of 31 for 350 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 picks. But they're in a standard wing T formation. Dinko gets the handoff right side. Dinko in a mass of bodies as he picks up a few yards the tough way. Clock running at 40 seconds. Now the timeout will be called. And who called it is the question. I think
Chardon called it, yep.
There we go.
Again, can't take them with you.
You know, it's a little bit weird for us because the officials have they're microphoned up. So they're not actually making the call. You know, we can't see their hands in the signals. They're actually saying it first before they're making the motion, which a little bit weird for me because, you know, you're used to just seeing it right away.
Right, yeah, not too many high school stadiums have the ref mic'd up, so applaud Mayfield for having that because we do get some explanation on calls. Otherwise, the mindless of our officiating mechanics may not pick up, you know, the more complicated calls.
From the pistol formation, Beninati dropping back to pass. Now he's going to step up in the pocket. Beninati going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. A couple guys get in there, including Stacy. No, check that. That was not. That was Izzy Watson.
Yeah, nothing going there. I think the Hilltoppers actually may end up being content to take this to. Oh, this is interesting. They're huddling. They were at the line, they broke from the line, they huddled, they ran up to the line, and I think we're going to see the final play.
Yeah, this very well may just be see what you can do here running the football if you
Don't
can't.
turn it over.
Yeah, stay in bounds. Dinko tries to go around the right side. Dinko spun around with 0 seconds left to go. That will do it. So we will head into halftime with the score Mayfield 13 and Chardon 10. Jason, some quick thoughts on this first half.
I don't really think anyone truly has an advantage. It really has been a back-and-forth game, much like it sounded like in the first game. And it's really going to, I think, come down to a big play. Special teams played a big play part of the first half. We'll see if that continues. And whose running game, I think, is going to ultimately win out. Who knows? Second half's going to be exciting, though.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club proudly presents this special Hilltopper football playoff game, brought to you by the following: Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, the Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Conic Law, LLC, Foot and Ankle Specialists of Ohio, Junction Auto Sales, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, the Chardon Smile Center, Chardon Tavern and Grill, Lake Health, Middlefield Bank, OsteoStrong, Spencer Printing, Great Lakes Cheese, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by Consumer Tire, Alvord's Yard and Garden Equipment, CCM Chardon Rental, the Goddard School, Chesterland Tavern, Cabanas,
Chardon Welding,
Sveet and McGee Attorneys at Law, Square Bistro, Less Engineering, and with special support from GTV. Please be sure to stop by and thank these great companies and individuals who have made this special program possible.
Introducing our favorites with captain number 1. Here's Thurman.
Welcome back, everybody, to Wildcat Stadium here in Mayfield. Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you. It is 13-10, Mayfield over Chardon. Just coming out of halftime, Hilltoppers will receive the football. Jason, we started to talk about this as we're waiting for the officials to set the clock to start halftime, but really a back-and-forth game in the first half, and really nothing stood out for either team. It was just kind of a ho-hum. We're going to grind it out, run the football, and just play some solid defense.
Yeah, I think ultimately when you go into the locker room as a coach, you're saying it's 0-0 at this point. Obviously a 3-point lead, but it's going to be whoever can make the big plays here in the third quarter, and we'll see where we're at come the fourth. There's a flag. Not a lot of penalties in the first half.
No, Dinko took the bobbled actually the kickoff, able to get up to around the 25, but a late flag came out to around the 21, and we'll see what this is going to be against Chardon. They're moving back already.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want coming out of the locker room, because this is definitely going to pin them back.
So holding against the Hilltoppers will move them back and pin them inside the 15 down to about the 12-yard line.
Thanks to some help from our friend over there, John Camp from the News Herald. 173 yards rushing for Mayfield, 125 yards for the Toppers. That's via him on Twitter.
Chardon will hand the ball off, and really nothing much going for Christian Ross. Ross maybe back to the line of scrimmage. First time he's carried the ball tonight.
Yeah, he's been. I think he might have had a couple down there, because you had made a comment about him coming back from an injury, but very seldom have we seen him tonight. It's really been, the Beninati show. Really haven't heard a lot from Cybus. Pikus with the catch, I believe, where he got blown up in the backfield. So
a man going in motion, Chardon. It's going to be Beninati running it, and Beninati up near the first down marker. But Jason, you bring up a good point. You look at the Chardon running backs, and again, let's go back to week number 7 when Mayfield came out and won 28-21. It was a 19-yard touchdown pass from Monastero to Longo, 23 seconds left to go, that swung the game. But in that game, Chardon with 277 yards running, Mayfield 226. Chardon 56 yards passing, Mayfield 107. So that game was very run heavy. Chardon going to hand it off. Dinko again. Dinko coming near side, and Dinko up near the 26-yard line.
I've seen a lot of Dinko tonight. He's really been the offset to Beninati. He's gotten a lot of carries. He comes into tonight 690 yards, second on the team, first amongst running backs as Beninati's, a leader in the house, 1,440 yards.
Well, and when you look at distribution too, Dinko 79 carries, Cybus 77, Ross 71. They like to be generous with the ball. From the gun, Beninati 2nd and 8 from the 26-yard line, 10-13 and counting. And Christian Ross gets the handoff, lowers his shoulder, pushes ahead to about the 33-yard line. Check that. The 28-yard line.
Thought you might see something a little more creative out of that set, especially with receiver split, 2 receiver split, which is pretty unusual. But just a typical jet sweep coming from right to left for the Hilltoppers. Again, 3rd and 6. They haven't really moved the ball. No big plays really on this drive. So kind of ho-hum start, especially with the penalty on the special teams on the kickoff.
Well, 2 receivers near side, 2 to the far side. Now Pikus going in motion. Low snap, Pikus gets the ball, looking to go around the end, and Pikus maybe to the 30.
Yeah, I don't understand, necessarily that call. It was more or less the same play, different formation. And the previous play didn't go for much. Neither did that play, and that's going to force an early punt. They played right into the Mayfield defense hands, and it's going to be interesting. This has got to be clean, but it's going to still be pretty good field position for the Wildcats.
Ziegenfuss gets off. Mason Ziegenfuss gets off a good punt. Going to bounce at the 37, go out of bounds near the 35-yard line. Good snap that time. He did a nice job punting the football.
Yep. Great snap, great punt, good hang time on it. Really forced, a non-return from the Wildcats. Good coverage and, decent field position, but the punt definitely helped.
Need to let you know that with winter just around the corner, we want to remind you of our procedures for school closing or delayed start in the event of dangerous conditions. The decision to call off school due to inclement weather begins at approximately 3:30 a.m. So check out GTV for fast school closing information. Can't believe I'm mentioning that already.
Ugh.
Wow. Canginelli with the ball, looking to come around the left side, 35-40, and Canginelli up near the 45-yard line. First down, Wildcats.
Yep.
No.
It's going to be short. Yeah, it was a little
inch.
short. Yep. Yeah, about a yard, maybe a half a yard here for the first down. Pretty much the sticks are on top of each other on the far sideline.
He's got to break the plane of the 45, and he's just shy.
Ball's on the nose of the ball's on the 45.
3 receivers far side.
I like Monastero on a sneak here on that right side. They're going to take the Topper defense downfield. I like Monastero, but again, also draw.
No, it's Canginelli the give. Canginelli between the tackles up near the 48-yard line.
Yeah. And you almost can't go wrong there. And I also like the idea, even on that play of Monastero, holding it and taking it if you know, darned if you do, darned if you don't, I guess, on that with those two in the backfield.
13-10 is the score. Mayfield on top over Chardon. 7:56 and counting here in the third quarter. Appreciate you tuning us in on this simulcast playoff edition, GTV and Integrity Radio. I'm Matt Jaworski. He's Jason Baxter. Monastero from the gun, going to hand it off. Canginelli just straight through across his midfield and brought down around the Hilltopper 49-yard line, moving the chains.
Yep, definitely. Again, first drive of the game to start the game. The first drive for the Wildcats has really been a Canginelli favored package here. So
we saw in the first half a lot of Gage Biken running the football. Been a steady dose now of Canginelli in this second half.
Yep, absolutely. We haven't really seen Monastero get any even design plays. Couple broken pass plays he's run on.
From the gun, Monastero dropping back to pass, looking across the middle. Gonna run, tuck it, makes a nice move across the 45, down toward the 40-yard line, picks up the big first down. Lamagua in on the tackle for Chardon.
Yeah, great play. Shows how slippery he can be once he gets into the open field. That's worst case scenario for a defense dropping back on the pass play there, and he picks up the first down again. Just he's a savvy veteran and got the first down, move on to the next play. 1st
and 10, Mayfield, ball on the 40. Ball will be handed off. Canginelli running from 35, down to the 20, on his feet inside the 15, down to the 5-yard line. Christian Ross was drugged maybe about 15 yards trying to get him down. My goodness.
And definitely still goes to show that, Canginelli, isn't the biggest guy, but man, he is mighty because he, like you said, that was at least 15 yards that he pulled him.
Averaging, Jason, about 8.7 yards per carry. Gets it again, looking to go right side, but the Topper D-line going to buckle down and make the stop.
Well, this is money time for the Topper defense. This is where they came up big a couple times in the first half and forced field goals, 2 field goals for the Wildcats, but this is going to be a big series here.
How about that? Chardon on that play brought Skylar Pekosik in on the D-line. He helped make that tackle. They're going to switch some more personnel out. It's 2nd down and goal from the 8.
The Phil Taylor package from back in the day, minus about 200 pounds.
Tight formation for the Wildcats. A couple guys in motion. Monastero looking to throw the ball left side, looking left side, has Longo at the 9, makes a nice move, cutting near side, does not get into the end zone, brought down near the 4-yard line. Joe Sivas was around there, Ethan Ziegenfuss was around there as well, as was Shane Quinn.
Looks like ball came out late, but the official was right there. Anytime Longo's touched the ball tonight, it's been gold. I mean, his 2 receptions now, didn't get as many yards there, but definitely had an opportunity to get in the end zone on that catch.
Mayfield taking their time this time around, ironically. They're going to send 4 receivers out to the far side. It's Longo, the lone receiver near side. Monastero in the backfield himself, feeling pressure, flushing out, looking, throws it away, incomplete. That brings up 4th down and goal from the 3. And the question now, Jason, is if you're Mayfield, do you kick a field goal?
Yeah, absolutely. Your kicker's pretty clutch. I don't in a game like this in week 11, I don't leave any points on the field. I don't leave it to chance. Get 3. Defense is playing lights out right now. Take the 3 points, 6-point lead. See where it goes from there.
Well, the thing to remember though is if this is good, Chardon still takes the lead with a touchdown.
Right.
But here we go. Going to be a 20-yard field goal attempt. Kick is down, it is underway. A flag comes out just before the ball was kicked.
So false start.
False start will go against Kyle Ross. Going to move the kick back 5 yards. So Ryan McCallahan will be out and try it again.
That was interesting because the guy the false start was on was the guy that is lined up right next to the left of the long snapper. So just a little jumpy on that.
McCallaghan. Now we'll have, well, it's a high snap, gets it underway, it's in the air, it has the distance, and it is good.
Smooth.
So Ryan McCallaghan puts Mayfield on top now by a score of 16-10. We're gonna pause and take on Integrity Radio, a 90-second timeout here for the folks on GTV. We'll be right back. Again, the score, Mayfield 16, Chardon 10. Welcome back. Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you here at Wildcat Stadium. It is Mayfield now 16 and Chardon 10 with 4:57 to play here in the third quarter. And Jason, some nice running by Mayfield has put them in the lead now by 2 field goals.
Mayfield's just trying to get over the hump. They've had some trouble in the red zone, and obviously it's led to 3 field goals. 9 points is great, but at some point they need to get 7.
Ziegenfuss took the line drive kickoff, brought it up to about the 25 and got no further. So out comes the Hilltopper offense. And at this point in time, again, we want to say thank you out to the Chardon Hilltopper, the Gridiron Club for their support in bringing you this broadcast.
Furthering the huge opportunity the Hilltoppers have to be part of the playoffs, and that's a great contribution on there and well worth the money. Hopefully the people at home also feel it's worth the money.
So far so good. 4:51 to play, down by just 2 field goals. They can easily come back. Fake handoff to Ross, and boy, Bettinati is dropped in the backfield. That was a quick tackle by Zach Rodman. Rodman, 6'1", 210. He read that play from the get-go.
Yeah, he initially actually almost tackled the ball carrier through, the first ball carrier through. Didn't see him have the ball, or saw Bettinati had the ball and attacked Bettinati. Great play.
That's what most coaches will do if you're playing in wing T. You see somebody, you tackle them.
Right, absolutely.
And give Rodman credit for that. That was a great example of it right there. 2nd and 14 now, Toppers ball on their own 23-yard line. A lot of people going forward. It's Bettinati who actually is the ball carrier. Bettinati gets those 4 yards back to the original line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 3rd down. And he can gain an extra yard, so 3rd down and about 9.
Yeah, Chardon just struggling offensively here on their first 2 possessions. Can't really get that game-breaking run. The defense is really keeping this game close for the Hilltoppers, holding, ultimately to 9 points on field goals, a couple of big red zone stops.
3rd and 9 from their own 28. Mayfield asking for some noise. Chardon, though, trying to make some noise of their own. Bettinati keeps it himself, goes ahead, but well shy of the 1st down, and again, Mason Ziegenfuss will come out to punt.
Last thing that I'm sure Mitch Hewitt wanted was another 3 and out. Actually, I don't think they went quite 3 and out on that first drive, but again, a shortened drive, giving the ball back to a really hungry Mayfield team, and Mayfield just seems to have the energy right now, and looks like they're the ones that kind of have the momentum.
Good, strong, high punt by Mason Ziegenfuss. Bounces around the 25 and go out of play. Need to let you know that High School Football and Integrity Radio brought to you by Lost Nation Sports Park in Willoughby, the indoor-outdoor sports facility. Also by Clement Construction for all your roofing and gutter needs. And we also can't forget the good folks over at Lake National Bank, Lake County's only locally owned bank.
Another great example of people seeing, the power of high school athletics and playoff football, and a huge shout out to all of them for contributing to this.
Absolutely.
The setup that we have here.
1st and 10, ball on the 26-yard line for Mayfield. 2 receivers near step, but hey, they're going to keep it. Hand the ball off. Who else? Mr. Canginelli up across the 30 to about the 34-yard line. Boy, he's just starting to take over this game now.
Yeah, steady dose of him, like you said. Or I think it's becoming more than a dose, but then you also have the ability, as they showed in that first drive, coming back the second drive of the first half. Canganelli, pass. It's going to open it up here at some point. I'd look for Longo to definitely get involved here soon.
So look at this, Chardon stacking the box, just keeping one safety back. The fake to Canganelli, Monastero looking to keep it himself on the ground. Snuffed out, though, not much going there. Urchek making the tackle for a minimal gain.
Yeah, they've definitely had a lack of success tonight with Monastero running the ball. Not too many design plays, a lot of broken pass plays that he's run on. But he's really been shut down in the run game. If they are able to do that with Canganelli, we're talking. But he's having another great game. Because Monastero actually had 89 yards in the first half, but really nothing.
No, it's now 3rd and 4 for the Wildcats from their own 32-yard line. Clock running 1:44 and counting here in Mayfield. From the gun, Monastero will hand it off. Canganelli, he's stopped. Lamagua got there first and got him by the ankles. And Chardon gets a big stop on downs late in the third quarter.
Kind of an interesting play call there. I guess it is, 3rd and 4, but I might look for something to go side, towards the sideline, open side of the field. But
Lamagua, by the way, one of the leaders and tacklers on this team, has 9 sacks as well. Really the heart of this defense for Chardon. Luke Biken back to punt, a punt that's going to go out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
That was a laser.
Yeah.
He kicked that on a rope.
It was looking like he was looking for the coffin corner, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost successful. It looks like about the 39.
Jason, this is probably a good time to mention this. We talked with Doug Snyder prior to the game. One of the neat things that he talked about was a assembly that they had, a pep rally, honoring the girls cross-country team.
Yeah, 1978 team, 4 members of that team was the state champions, the first ever girls cross-country state champions back in 78, and 4 members of those teams were there to see off the 2015 version, heading down to Columbus to run near Ohio State tomorrow in the state championship as a team. So a great opportunity, stay tuned to your local papers and, of course, Chardon on Twitter for, potential state championship run led by, of course, Rachel Banks, who recently committed to Penn State for the Hilltoppers.
A lot of exciting things going on in Chardon, and we wish the girls cross-country team the best. Obviously, this will already be set and done when it airs, but we hope that that they won a state title by then. Going to be, by the way, 2nd down and 11 after that run netted a -1 yard run. So 2nd and 11 for the Hilltoppers. 3 receivers out to the near side, 1 out to the far side. Bettinati fakes the throw, steps up in the pocket looking to run, tries to shake a tackler but cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, Izzy Watson there to make the tackle, and that is the end of the third quarter. So with that, we'll take a timeout here. Appreciate you tuning us in. You're listening to High School Football on GTV and also on Integrity Radio, WINT 1330 AM, and online at WINTradio.com. It is Mayfield 16 and Chardon 10.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club proudly presents this special Hilltopper football playoff game, brought to you by the following: Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, the Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Conic Law, LLC, Foot and Ankle Specialists of Ohio, Junction Auto Sales, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, the Chardon Smile Center, Chardon Tavern and Grill, Lake Health, Middlefield Bank, OsteoStrong, Spencer Printing, Great Lakes Cheese, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by Consumer Tire, Alvord's Yard and Garden Equipment, CCM Chardon Rental, the Goddard School, Chesterland Tavern, Cabanas,
Chardon Welding,
Sveet and McGee Attorneys at Law, Square Bistro, Less Engineering, and with special support from GTV. Please be sure to stop by and thank these great companies and individuals who have made this special program possible.
Welcome back to Wildcats Stadium. Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you, set to start the third quarter here. Chardon and Mayfield. Mayfield 16, Chardon nothing. Bettinati from the gun, going to sling it out near side. Joe Sivas. Sivas dropped at the 30-yard line. Boy, they snuffed out that little screenplay.
Yeah, that was a huge stop. Some elation over here from the Mayfield defensive staff next to us in the coach's box. Another huge stop. I think that's going to really ring true in terms of a storyline for our reporter friends is the Mayfield defense and just how clutch they've been tonight.
Well, and you just nailed it, Jason. As this game has progressed, the Wildcat defense has stepped up. Line drive kick, and this is going to be trouble for the Wildcats. What an excellent punt by Mason Ziegenfuss. The punt will roll inside the 10-yard line, and that is where the Wildcats will take over. Boy, that's almost a 70-yard, a 60-yard punt.
Yeah, regardless, that was a great punt. That is definitely going to be one, again, to circle on that big plays. Special teams kicking, the punt. We've seen a few from Ziegenfuss who has really, that we saw the biking, kind of line drive, coffin corner attempts. So some good special teams out of, some two teams that just, kind of throwing athletes into those roles, showing that they really are true athletes, with the ability to kick like they are.
Man in motion. 3 receivers set. Monastero looking to throw, looking down the right side of the field. Ziegenfuss is there, goes up for it, and breaks up the pass. They're looking for Jack Longo. And boy, I thought there might have been some pass interference, but offensive pass interference on that play.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a huge play by Jack Longo. When obviously he doesn't make the catch, but that was definitely probably going to be an interception by Ziegenfuss if he didn't come over his back and knock it away.
Monastero put the ball up in the air, but really underthrew it, and that's what allowed Ziegenfuss to nearly intercept that ball.
Yep.
Stops the clock with 11-12 to play here in the fourth quarter. Chardon showing a blitz with Sivas. Monastero rolling out near side, feeling some pressure. Going to turn it up the field around the 10, and is knocked out of bounds around the 15-yard line.
Again, broken play, gets some good yardage, and brings up a 3rd and short. And when you got Canganelli in the back, in the backfield, it'll be interesting to see what they do here on 3rd down.
3rd and short for the Wildcats. 3rd and 2 to be exact.
We're getting short on time. Our paper print friends have left us up here in the press box looking for that interview.
4 receivers. Canganelli gets the ball handed off, tripped up in the backfield, and he cannot turn upfield. Andrew Pikus was the first man to hit him.
Woo, that is a huge stop for the Hilltoppers, and a deflated Mayfield offensive line comes off the field. And that was a huge stop by the defense.
Now here you go. It's 4th down and about, we'll say 4. So 4th and 4, ball on the 14-yard line. Ziegenfuss just mulling around, kind of hanging out near midfield.
This is one of those nerve-wracking special teams plays deep in your own territory.
Biken gets off a high kick. Ziegenfuss just watches it go back, and he will let it roll. It's going to come to a stop and be touched at the 30-yard line. That's where Jack Longo will down it, and that is where the Hilltoppers will take over.
Didn't quite get the roll Ziegenfuss did, but again, another great punt, completely changes field position there. Huge offensive drive here for the Hilltoppers.
Hand off is to Dinko coming near side. Dinko wrapped up and just smothered. Jared Dostal read that play and made a great tackle. Wow.
That was a huge hit. Wow, that was a great play by Dostal and showing his ability to go east to west. East to west and north to south. That was a heat-seeking missile going for Dinko and made great contact. Not quite a loss on the play. He got back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10 for the Toppers. They've got to come up with something. Christian Ross going in motion. And Bettinati across the 35 up to the 37-yard line. That time, a few eyes were on Christian Ross. And Chardon gaining a few yards, which it's a positive because they really hadn't done that the last 2 times that they've had the football prior to this.
Yeah, that's a big step forward because it's been an offensive struggle here the first few drives of the second half. First few drives, I mean, we're already getting late here into the fourth quarter, about 9 minutes left. But that third quarter was absolutely nullified for the Hilltoppers offensively.
3rd and 3 from the 37. Man going in motion, and ball handed off, but Mayfield snuffing out that play. My, oh my. Pikus does not normally touch the ball this much.
Yeah, this has been a defensive coordinator's dream today, and Pikus again, he got swallowed up. He took a big hit in the first half. Got piled on again there, so again, the offensive woes continue for the Hilltoppers. They're going to have to look for some magic here, but again, another stop by their defense.
Mason Ziegenfuss gets that kickoff, going to bounce and take a Hilltopper bounce from the 40 down inside the 22-yard line.
Second half MVP right there for the Hilltoppers so far has been Mason Ziegenfuss, his ability to switch field position.
By the way, this is not something that we do on GTV, but it is on Integrity Radio. At the end of this game, you're going to have to pick, Jason, a Pat O'Brien Chevrolet player of the game. So keep that in mind.
Interesting, yeah. Got a few candidates in mind.
8:18 left to play here in the fourth quarter. It is Mayfield 16, Chardon 10. This offensive juggernaut of a game has featured 4 field goals.
Definitely not what was drawn up throughout the week, no doubt, in film session, but, you know, it's playoffs. Anything goes, any points go.
Well, Canginelli took the handoff, went straight up, gained maybe a yard on that play, maybe 2 depending on the spot. Bit of a generous spot.
Right, but regardless, if I'm Mayfield here, I'm looking for the ability to run clock. You're getting to that point where running clock is going to be huge, but you still have to have a mentality that you're looking to score. You can't just sit on the ball with only a 6-point lead.
2nd and 8 from their own 23. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Monastero feeling some pressure, going to step up, flags flying, and he's knocked out of bounds to the 25, and this is coming back because it's a holding penalty.
Yeah, hold penalty. I do like the initial play call. The initial play call looked to be a comeback route by Jack Longo, really well covered by the Hilltoppers. Forced Monastero and then forced the holding.
Well, that might be one of the few times that really Mayfield has hurt themselves in this game. Outside of that interception, in the first half, it has been a very clean game for the Wildcats.
Absolutely, but I think partially that, it goes to show the 2 programs playing out here is just clean, efficient football. Put your nose to the grindstone and go with it.
2nd and 21 for the Wildcats. Ball on the 13-yard line. 7:35 left to play, fourth quarter. Mayfield 16, Chardon 10. That'll be a 3-receiver set for the Wildcats, and it's Canginelli who gets the ball, and Canginelli just goes straight ahead into a pile of jerseys. Not much going.
Again, I like the idea of running the clock here, but they're going to have to. I would look for a pass coming up here. It's 3rd down. I'm looking Jack Longo's way, one of the Vikings. I see one Viking split towards the Chardon sideline. I see one Viking near us with Longo.
Luke, the lone wideout. Well, now he's going to be joined by Dostal, who's in the slot far side. Near side, it is Longo and Gage Bican. Canginelli in the backfield. Monastero from the gun, throwing down the middle, has a man. That's Gage Bican all alone. Gage Bican to be tripped up near midfield, and that was almost 7 points.
Huge play. That was the play that they missed in the first half to Canginelli. And there you go. You get it right back. That was, I believe, nearly the same exact play. Just simple slant route across the middle. Biking got ahead of his guy. Boom. There you go. There's a big play. That could be a game changer right there.
Shane Quinn just saved 7 points on the board for Chardon. I don't know how he managed to make that tackle, but he somehow did.
I think momentum also had the assist on that tackle because Biking got moving and tripped over his own feet.
Canginelli, the carrier, across the 40 down to the 35-yard line, and now the Mayfield offense starting to really move the football.
Now this is where I might look to, again, stay aggressive. Stay aggressive here. You're trying to score a touchdown. I'm not going to say he's going to seal it, but you're going to really put some pressure on the Chardon offense to have to score, make it a 2-possession game.
It is first down and 10, Mayfield. They have the ball on their own on the Chardon 34-yard line. A tight formation in here for the Wildcats. One receiver near side, one to the far side. That's Longo. Now he's going in motion. Handoff. Canginelli coming near side 35-30 before he's tripped up and brought down. In on the tackle for Chardon is Jesse Smith. Cyrus also going to get some credit for the tackle as well.
I like it. I like the play call. You're staying aggressive, keeping it on the ground, keep the clock running. Chardon may not get the ball back here with but maybe 2 or 3 minutes left. So even a touchdown or a field goal at this point is going to really, be some doom here for the Hilltoppers.
Trips near side for the Wildcats. 2 receivers out on the far side. Monastero from the gun. Keep an eye on Gage Biken. He's in the slot. Going to be a bubble screen Longo. And Longo going to be wrapped up and dropped by Lucas Lundblad, was in on that tackle. Also, you saw Kyle McCaffrey over there as well. Chardon, they've seen that play before, and it cost them 7 points in a ball game.
Yeah, that was well read there by Lundblad as he seeked the ball out because they saw it. They saw it coming. Biken took off. Longo ducked down in, got the catch. It's a big stop.
Well, you look at the fourth quarter, the last time that these two teams got together. Mayfield outscored Chardon 16-7 in the fourth. Chardon cannot allow that to happen right now. Monastero going to be forced to burn a timeout here. Play got in late. He got his team over, but hey, you know what? When you're up by 6, looking to go in for what is going to put you ahead by 2 possessions, you can do something like that.
I'm not too worried about it. I don't really take any chances there. Well played timeout.
Well, TV timeout, so we'll pause for 90 seconds and come back with, well, are we?
Yes.
I think did they just wave it off?
Someone threw a red flag out there. What's that?
Well, we're going to have to keep it right here for you. And this is, again, I guess a good time to thank a few of our Integrity Radio sponsors, and they include Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, home of the upfront price guarantee, also by Lost Nation Sports Park in Willoughby, the indoor-outdoor sports facility. Jason, you look at this one right now, and for Chardon, it's essentially do or die on this down. It's 3rd down and 6, balls on your 30-yard line. And, the question is, how do you come up, you have to dig down deep here for a stop, because what I'm seeing on this play, or what I'm seeing on the field right now, is a tired Hilltopper football team.
Yeah, you don't want to be too over dramatic here, but again, that could be the game right here. 3rd and 6, time is not on their side, as you mentioned. Tired team. It really has been back and forth, very short offensive. This is really the most sustained offensive drive of this half.
Handoff, Canginelli looking to come around the right side. He has the first down and more, and Canginelli is into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. A 30-yard touchdown run with 4:27 left to play. And that may have just put this game away. It's now 22-10. And the Wildcats now looking to come out and add the PAT and potentially the exclamation point to this one. However, they're not going for the PAT. They're going for 2. And I can't blame them.
Makes it a 2-touchdown game. I mean, regardless, they're up 2 possessions, but almost at a point where why not? I mean, you're already up 12. You're talking touchdown and change, so.
Twins near slide. And it's given to Canginelli, who is trying to will his way in, but he was stopped short. So it's going to end up being Mayfield 22 and Chardon 10. With that, we're going to pause, and now we will be taking a 90-second timeout as Mayfield 22, Chardon 10, and you're listening to GTV and also Integrity Radio, WINT 1330 AM and online at WINTradio.com. Welcome back, everybody, to Wildcat Stadium. Matt Jaworski, Jason Baxter with you. Friday night game of the week. And it is now Mayfield 22, Chardon 10, and time running out for the Hilltoppers, Jason. Right now, if they need to win, they need a quick touchdown, an onside kick, and another quick touchdown.
Yeah, this is dig deep. This is, you know, running Alpine Valley, Tomahawk run moments here where you're really, that investment you put in, it's all on the field right now.
Ziegenfuss takes the kickoff, returns it far side to about the 30-yard line. And that is where Tommy Bettinati and company are coming out. They need a score in the worst way possible, but I'm going to back it up because before they can get that, they need a first down.
Yeah, it's been an absolute struggle offensively for the Hilltoppers, and it's, you know, you're talking about a team that came into the game averaging, 37.3 points per game, 7 games over 40 points, and they have just been absolutely held in check tonight.
Chardon the last 2 games have averaged 52 points per game. Bettinati fakes the handoff, going to step up in the pocket. Bettinati he's going to run a little bit forward, then falls forward to about the 31, gain of about 1. Clock continues to run now, 4 minutes and counting. Going to bring up a second down, and they're going to give him a second down and 9, ball spotted on the 31-yard line.
I think ultimately the battle was going to be the Mayfield defense. Chardon offense was the winner of that, was going to kind of have the, more generous opportunity in this game, and it's been the Mayfield defense in that battle all night.
Bettinati again from the gun, flushing out near side, looking to throw down the field. He is hit and he is dropped. And who is it? It's once again the culprit who has been in the backfield a lot tonight, Carl Stacy.
He's just, the finishing speed is incredible from Carl Stacy.
The way that this defense is playing right now against the Hilltoppers tonight, shades of that Wildcat defense that pitched 6 straight shutouts back, when was that, 5-6 years ago?
Rick Finati-led defense. Yep. That was one of the probably best defenses in area history, regardless. News Herald, plain deal.
Bettinati has the first down and much more across the 40 down to the 43-yard line. Will briefly stop the clock, but boy, Chardon needed that.
Bettinati, he's that type of kid, a kid you want at quarterback for Chardon, leaving it all on the field right now, rallying the troops, only a junior. What a big moment for this kid.
Bettinati from the gun, dropping way back to pass, looking, feeling some pressure, gonna have to do something. He's taken for a loss. He has dropped way back. And boy, he could not let that happen. Jordan Jones.
I'm not sure what the play call was there because both receivers downfield were blocking their men. So I don't know if that was supposed to be a draw to get Bettinati some open field, but no one looked for the ball there. So
2nd and 23 for the Toppers, ball on their own 30-yard line. Clock now running 2:30 and counting. Again, 4 receivers, man going in motion. And fake the handoff. Bettinati looking for something, going nowhere. Boy, Skylar Pekosik and Izzy Watson now starting to get at it a little bit. They're getting mighty chippy.
Yeah, you're getting to that moment for a kid like Skylar. It's getting to be his last few minutes. And, this Mayfield defense, when it comes down to it here in these last 2 minutes, looking like they're going to move on. This Mayfield defense is going to be the linchpin for this team moving forward.
Again, that pistol formation. Dinko going in motion, scissor play. And it gained them a few yards. There's Pikus, makes a nice cut, stiff-armed across the 40, and Pikus back to the original line of scrimmage. And there's a late flag, a lot of pushing and shoving. And again, Skylar Pekosik is in the middle of it.
Yeah, you don't want that. Then you also have Luke Biken absolutely just still barking at Pekosik. It's, unnecessary. Pekosik, great play, and now it's going to come back.
Well,
it may not. They're going to lose
It's going to be
yardage.
interesting because it could go, it could go either way depending on what the officials do. They may just say it's offsetting penalties.
Yeah, Coach Pinto is not happy at Luke Biken
But
right
boy,
now.
if this is a penalty against Mayfield, it gives Chardon brand new life because that's an automatic 15 yards and a first down.
Teammates trying to calm Luke Biken down because this is the point of the game, and the referees are definitely talking. I think we're looking at offsetting. That's a great call on your part, Matt.
Well, one of them is coming over talking with Mitch Hewitt.
Oh, wow. So it must have been
So
Biken.
it's going to go against Luke Biken.
It must have been Biken all the way, and then Potosik just, looked like more of the culprit on our end, missing the front end of the play.
Regardless, penalty goes against Mayfield. Chardon has the ball, first down and 10 on the Wildcat 43-yard line. Problem is there's a minute 40 left to go. Man in motion, Pikus. Fake the handoff to Pikus. Bettinati hit hard, but he crosses the 40, brought down inside the 31-yard line. Izzy Watson there to make the tackle, and the Hilltoppers, Jason, going to call a timeout.
Yeah, time is not on the side. Izzy Watson, absolute man-child. And that was just a great play coming down. And unfortunately, the Hilltoppers, it's just the clock is not on their side. Offensively, best drive they've had in the second half, but just not enough time.
They're going to put 3 seconds back on the clock and say at minute 34 to go. This may very well be our last chance to thank a couple more Integrity Radio sponsors, including Clement Construction for all your roofing and gutter needs, and also the News Herald. Visit news-herald.com, and we can't forget about Napa Auto Parts, making your car good to go. So with that,
can't give in here. Can't give in.
You gotta keep going. But Jason, right now, if you're Chardon, boy, you really have to break out a 39-yard run. Get in the end zone now. Get the onside kick, and then just hope for some kind of a miracle.
Yeah, definitely get into that miracle part of the game. But the Hilltoppers, they gotta break a run here. Something big has to happen.
Here we go. It's 2nd and 6, ball on the 39. Bettinati from the gun. Fake to Pikus, dropping back to pass. There's nobody open. Going to try to throw Pikus near side. Threw it incomplete. And you can just see the Hilltopper offense just pressing right now to make something happen.
I'm not sure why that comes to the short side of the field, a play like that. And, obviously Bettinati's thrown, I think that may be his 3rd attempt on the night. So, like you said, he's pressing and he forced it a little bit.
Well, what's interesting, and I want to go back to the first game, Joe Sivas had 17 carries for 119 yards, and he has been absent from the offense tonight.
Maybe a carry, maybe 2. It's really been Bettinati, Dinko, a little bit of Pikus.
They faked the screen. Bettinati going to try to go forward, but Bettinati brought down shy of the first down marker. And that time, Dan Evans there to help make the tackle, and the officials are going to signal a timeout because Chardon, I believe, just burned a timeout. They indeed have. That's their 2nd timeout, so they will have 1 left. And let's see, what's the situation? Will this be a TV timeout? No, they're going to keep us going, so we're going to stay here.
9 seconds now added to the game based on the last 2 stoppages, and I think the official may be just generally overusing his ability to have a field mic tonight.
He might just say, shout out to all you people listening.
Shout out to all my fans in the stands. But really, until the personal foul there on Biken, really no major penalties. We've just reiterated, it's been a pretty clean game on both sides. So hopefully it stays that way in terms of it being clean here to the finish. Obviously.
And I'm sure it will. Chardon obviously knows this Mayfield team. Mayfield knows Chardon. Just down the road on Wilson Mills or 322. Take your pick. Bettinati again from the gun, dropping back to pass, now stepping up in the pocket. Going to put the ball up in the air. A little bit of a lame duck. It's intercepted, and that just very well may do it. Who was it that had that pick?
That might be Luke Biken.
That is Luke Biken.
Yep, that's number 8. He's a ball hawk out there. His strong safety, or free safety type position he plays. That's 8 interceptions for him, and you know, I think that's ultimately going to bring an end to this game after a couple knees.
You know, I did it and think it will, Jason. And
a lot to look forward to for the Hilltoppers, though, with, you know, Tommy Beninati coming back next year, because that's always the go-to. We're Cleveland fans, so you always start looking forward, you know.
Well, you look at the underclassmen. You have Beninati, you have Justin Stanko, you have a guy like Dustin Clute, Joey Dinko, Andrew Pikus, Joe Sivas, name a few, Ethan Ziegenthus, Mason Ziegenthus.
Really, offensive line is where they're going to have to replace their bulk. You know, four guys on the O-line, especially some big guys too.
Mayfield takes a knee and clock will run. You know, on the defense, Ryder Davis, Kyle McCaffrey, they'll be back. Shane Quinn, Jesse Smith, they'll all be back. Gone, though, will be guys like Christian Ross, Skylar Pekosik, Jamie Tierney, Mason Straczynski, Jacob Urchek, who we didn't really get to call his name much tonight. Other guys, you know, you look at, again, on the defensive side of things, Lucas Lundblad, Tanu Lamagua. They will move on to bigger and better things here, but, you know, certainly we want to thank them for all that they've done here on the football field. And they have certainly made the Hilltopper fans proud. Chardon, though, will be burning their final timeout. We'll stop the clock with 32 seconds left to go. And at this point, really, it's just a matter of downing the football. So for Chardon, they will end up falling. Hilltoppers will fall to 8-3. With the win, Mayfield will move on to be 10-1 on the year. And right now, the way that we believe it is that it's going to be Mayfield and Warren Harding next week. And
huge upside.
I'd have to think that game probably going to be held at Solon.
Yeah, that's always a weird, that way far east side of Mayfield here. Solon definitely seems, Twinsburg has a possibility, but great game. Mayfield, great team. State semifinalists last year, Matt. I mean, hats off to them. Solid defense, solid coaching staff. I mean,
Mayfield does take the final knee, and that will do it as the two coaches and teams come together to talk real quick as they exchange handshakes. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, this will just be a quick 30-second timeout for our friends on Integrity Radio. We'll wrap this thing up here from Wildcat Stadium. Again, the final is Mayfield 22 and Chardon 10. You're listening to High School Sports on Integrity Radio, WINT 1330 AM, and online at WINTradio.com.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club proudly presents this special Hilltopper football playoff game, brought to you by the following: Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, the Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Conic Law, LLC, Foot and Ankle Specialists of Ohio, Junction Auto Sales, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, the Chardon Smile Center, Chardon Tavern and Grill, Lake Health, Middlefield Bank, OsteoStrong, Spencer Printing, Great Lakes Cheese, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by Consumer Tire, Alvord's Yard and Garden Equipment, CCM Chardon Rental, the Goddard School, Chesterland Tavern, Cabanas,
Chardon Welding,
Sveet and McGee Attorneys at Law, Square Bistro, Less Engineering, and with special support from GTV. Please be sure to stop by and thank these great companies and individuals who have made this special program possible.
I would say you've added a brick, right? Like we said, we're building a legacy. The wall's never finished, right? You've placed one up there that can never be taken down. Now, my hope and my prayer is that like this is a fraternity. There's, you know, classes come and go, but there's always that relationship. And I think like you can evaluate a team based on a season's success, but ultimately it's 10 years down the road. It's 15 years down the road, right, Mason? Right, Skyler? It's where are we going to be then? It's being a father. It's being a good husband. It's raising kids the right way. So that someday when they're in my class, they're not idiots, right? It's all those things. So, yeah, the season is over. The season's over. Can't get it back. But I think you got a lot to be proud of. I think if I asked you early on in the year, maybe in November, or January, you take this, right? You've etched it, man. But be good people. Be a part of the family, because here's the thing, you'll always be a Chardon football player. Right? You'll always be it. It never leaves you. You'll always be identified as this. 20 years from now, you'll have relationships that were built through blood, sweat, and tears. I'm extremely proud of you. Seniors, my hat's off to you. Right? The group that couldn't be got us to a Week 11 game. Good stuff. All right, one last breakthrough. Let's all get in here, break this stuff down. Seniors, get together. Let's go. Get up. Woo!
All right, guys, get ready. Alma mater.
What's the matter with the day? Let's go, baby. Toppers on 3, 1, 2, 3, Toppers.
Well, welcome back, everybody, for the final time tonight as we wrap things up here on GTV and also Integrity Radio. Again, the final tonight is Mayfield 22, Chardon 10. Jason, your final thoughts?
You know, the Mayfield defense showed through tonight. They held the Hilltoppers scoreless in the second half, really limited them on offense in terms of any momentum that they could pick up. Mayfield's a tough team. State semifinalists last year. Great, just a great job by Chardon. Another early exit from the playoffs, but yet another great season. First season of the WRC. Look, as we mentioned, a lot of skill guys coming back next year. Should be pretty solid.
The Hilltoppers in the playoffs for the first time in back-to-back years since Mitch Hewitt was playing for him. So This program doing a lot of things right. That does it for our broadcast, except we have to name a Pat O'Brien Chevrolet Player of the Game for our folks on Integrity Radio.
Yeah, Pat O'Brien Player of the Game, absolutely. He's got to be, it's either Montestero, Caganelli, definitely Caganelli. Had a big game. He was a game changer in the second half for the Wildcats. And again, Pat O'Brien is home of the upfront price guarantee. Caganelli's the guarantee. Great game for him.
That does it here for us, and we want to send out thanks to the folks back at Integrity Radio, including Alan Parrish, keeping us up and on the air. Thanks going out to Brian Foster, also cameraman extraordinaire today as well, Jeff Graw. Great to see Jeff again. And thanks going out to also Dave Jevnikar. Jason, thank you so much, my friend. Always a great pleasure to work with you.
Appreciate it.
I am Matt Jaworski. On behalf of all the rest, we'd like to wish you all the best, and we certainly wish all the best to the Hilltopper seniors. Thank you guys for a great career and a great season, and we look forward to bringing you more Hilltopper sports coverage in the winter. Good night, everybody.